What's up? This is Liquidated. This portion of the show is the trenches talk. We got Spider Crypto on today. Pwn Lord's out uh, this week. He's doing some workout classes, getting in shape. Spider, you on? Dom. Brian, I think your mic's off. Do we have any other apps on?
Hey, can you hear me on here right now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, I decided to join through my phone because I'm gonna restart my computer. Sometimes this happens when I've been doing meetings all day, so my apologies.
Are you still in New York or where you at?
Right now in Toronto right now, trying to do work out here, but there's like the last day of the consensus part, and I'm gonna go to Solana Accelerate afterwards. So
What's there?
oh, it's just a big conferences. It's I think like a lot of like the current builders that are doing stuff are just gonna be out there for like showing off their products, and so I try to get out and ahead and just explore the whole entire Solana ecosystem because like I feel like that's where you get a lot of alpha, like meeting some people from like the Jelly Jelly team or the Vine people, wherever I can, right? Like I just want to go out there and meet people and see what they're building, and also I want to try to transition more towards being a builder this year. I feel like that's where all the people made money. So that's where I'm just kind of like moving my focus right now.
Well, you kind of started right as a builder. You were a founder originally, right?
No, I
Yeah.
started off as a trader and then I became a builder because I saw like the music NFT space. I wanted to try to do something there, and then I went back into just trading after that, and then now I want to position back into being a builder. So
What
yeah.
what what's making you like that with that transition? Because I see a lot of my friends seem to be more successful on the trading side than the founder side. And like obviously, I think a lot of founders, can make a lot of money on their salary or whatever else, but like most of the time in crypto, a lot of these businesses end up failing. What kind of attracts you back to the founder side?
So for me, I made a lot of money off trading, but I feel like the constant pressure of trading is just crazy, you know?
Mhm.
So, I've been inside this space since 2017, and it was a lot easier back then, like because then you just used to invest in ICOs and it was all a networking game. And that's where I first found out being like a crypto influencer is probably like overpowered as hell because like I watched people like Ian Bellina and like Superman and all these other crypto people that didn't know shit about the whole entire like market or any of the projects make a lot of money just because they had a presence or a brand presence. So um it's kind of like moved away from there. But I mean, most people were making money building companies in the 2017, 2018 era. Then 2021 happened, and then people were start making money by trading on chain, by
Mhm.
like just trading like meme coins or DeFi products. And then obviously like watching even just recently, like the people who really won at the end of the day were the people who made products like Photon, Pump Fun, etc. Right. So
Right.
it kind of got me thinking more. I was like, man, like these guys didn't have to worry about trading and taking like $1 million risk on positions and worrying about the positions and watching their charts every single day. They literally built products and they're walking away with like $600 million on the year in pure profit. Like that's what Pump Fun's number is at right now, right? Like $600 million on chain through all the liquidity pools or something like that, or from all the like all the people that launched on them, and even Meteor, right? Like, here's the craziest thing: like that guy who launched the Melania token and
Mhm.
what's it
Trump.
called token? Melania Trump and Millet, the Argentinian president token. Like,
Mhm.
that guy was only in crypto for like 2 years, but he just launched shit, and created companies. And that guy made almost like $500 million in the course of 2 years, which is insane, right?
He also has
And
to
most
sleep
of it,
sleep at night though, so, I think those guys might have a tough time doing that.
yeah. But at the end of the day, it's like people who build products are the people who really, do things, and
Mhm,
at the end of the day, they had one successful product, which was M3, and then they scaled that product out. And they weren't unethical about it. They still could have made like really good money, honestly. So because like
mhm,
they did their job launching it, they just were unethical, like, and start selling it on like launch, and like that's the only thing that they did kind of like wrong, because they're pumping and dumping these things. But like if they had just done it where like, hey, we were just a service or a white glove service, put everything transparent on chain, it would have been a totally different story than where it is right now. So yeah, I don't know, man. I think building stuff is a lot more fun too. Like being a trader, if you make your money off trading, I don't find it as rewarding, right? Like I don't feel like I've done anything in this world, haven't made anyone's lives better, haven't added anything to the industry. I just traded it.
mhm.
So just want to get out of this.
How much of your success, like, in trading is from, like, the knowledge of charts or from just, like, relationships that you built? Like, I know, like, a lot this cycle, it has to do with, like, knowing the right people, getting the right information, and being able to, like, do that appropriately to make a lot of money on some of these meme coins or otherwise. Like, what was the strategy this cycle, and how were you able to maximize, profits on that?
Honestly, my best trades were not really relationship stuff. Like it's weird because like I make group chats, and like I think like relationship building is best for like building like when you're trading with other people, it helps you catch the things that you don't usually look at, right? Like, especially if someone's like really specialized in the AVAX ecosystem, and then someone's really specialized in memes. I was more specialized in meme narratives, and then like I had other friends that were more specialized with like macro, etc. So it just helps you put more like size into different plays if you have people in the right areas. Like I bet it's really nice talking to Trader Main about macro charts, right? And then once he's like, oh hey, Bitcoin's like looks bullish here, then you might size more into like some of your meme coin positions, right? Because you're like they're all just gonna tail along with whatever alts go crazy or Bitcoin goes crazy.
Yeah.
Mostly ETH, honestly, or Solana. So if Solana looks bullish, then like you might want to bet more on memes because it's more of like a leverage trade, right?
Mhm,
But I would say like my best trades though have really come from just me being AFK, not talking to anyone, and just making decisions on my own, just past based off past experience. Like that Trump trade that I made, that one was like 90% just intuition, right? Where like
mhm,
I was just like looking at it and I was like, oh man, 80% of supply is locked. People are like flooding this, but it's like the craziest thing ever. Like this thing's like viral where like everyone's talking about how Trump launched a meme coin. So like as it still hasn't been listed on any majors, people still don't have access to it. So there's like a information arbitrage kind of like situation. And there's also just like, the fact that it might get listed on majors, right? Like freaking Robinhood listed it, listed it. So that it was so silly, but like I was playing towards like little things like that where just like historically when things get listed on Binance, Coinbase, Robinhood, they run up to that point, or like that's
mhm.
like a catalyst that a lot of people are waiting for. So I kind of just trade off that. And that's how I made like most of my money. And then after those callus kind of like played out, that's when I was like, all right, it's over. There's no more opportunity to trade anymore because it's like you're just trading. I'm just trading it for like those listings, etc.
Right.
Really.
Well, we had Luca Netz on yesterday, who's like a founder and a builder, and he does some trading for fun. But like he mentioned a lot of the people that are really successful traders these days are like PvP guys that have a background in gaming. I know you have a background in gaming. What type of ingredients does a trader really need to be successful in this space? Because like at the end of the day, I'm just a BTC hodler. I don't do shit. I just observe the markets, and I do 99% of the people out there. How do you what kind of ingredients do these people need to be that 1% like you over the last few years to try to make it in this game?
Oh, dude, this is an easy one, man. Actually, I give a shout to Loma Crypto for saying this because uh dude was the one that put me on to the most important advice I'll ever get in my whole entire life in trading, which was just stay alive. 99% of people, they like full port shit, and they don't bet accordingly, and they just lose everything. And I think that's it. Like I think for me when I'm trading, all I'm trying to do is just stay alive 90% of the time. and it's just like, okay, if I make money on this, then like, okay, I'm putting some money away, so that
Mhm.
way I'm only trading with like 10 or 20% size after that. Like you don't really need a lot of money in crypto to make a lot of money,
That's
right?
true.
Like and it's so weird because crypto, especially in a bullish market, it's one of those industries where like you actually, like me, this is gonna sound so embarrassing, but I lose like more than 50% of my trades sometimes.
Mhm.
But the one trade that hits, or the two trades that hit, those things carry me really hard, And again, I'm betting more conviction, but I'm not betting with crazy size. I'm just doing like, a couple hundred here, a couple like maybe 50K here, stuff like that, and then I'm just in it early, and like it's an attention based market, especially trenches, right? So if you're just paying attention to the markets a lot, and you're like used to being online chronically, which is
Yeah.
what a lot of gamers are good at, right? Like some people cannot stand by a computer for like 12 hours a day, but gamers, that's something they're really fucking good at, which is what makes them really good at trading a lot of times. Like these guys are used, like me, I used to put 15-hour, 16-hour days when I was a pro League of Legends player.
Mhm.
So when I'm just by my computer the whole entire time, playing games, looking at the charts, talking to people in chat rooms. That's like my life. And I feel like people that can do stuff like that, those are the people that win, especially online poker players, or especially people that like play MMORPGs. Like that's something that they have in common. And they're also able to like, I guess like the last thing that's really good about gamers is that they're able to turn it into kind of like a video game in itself. So the money doesn't affect them as much as it does for like other people. I think like they're able to see like crypto money just as like a number,
Yeah,
right?
that's certainly what poker did for me too. Like it eliminates the anxiety. You enough high stakes situations that you begin to make good decisions in high stakes situations and stop thinking about the money. And I
That's
think
so
that
important.
the same thing for video games. So I mean, I think for what you're saying generally, like resilience is the main thing you need, and I could say that pretty clearly because if I'm thinking about when FTX went down, there was like a crypto fight night. All the big names were landing at the airport. They were all getting liquidated or thought they lost everything on FTX. A lot of these guys, yeah, they didn't give up. A few of these guys I lent money, and I won't mention the names, that ended up, you know, 2, 3, 4, 5xing my net worth since then. So they
Yeah,
you know,
yeah, it's kind of
it,
crazy.
they've done something pretty special.
Yeah,
So
yeah. Oh my God, we've all been there too. I feel like that's like one of the things that makes like the best traders. Like, a lot of us have been down, up high, down low. Like, I remember I got a loan around the same time from Wizard of Soho, and that dude has just watched me like gone back up like tremendously. So yeah, shout out to Wizard for that 5 ETH loan, 2022, when I was at rock bottom after the
yeah,
IRS came. That shit was crazy, and
yeah.
that 5 ETH sustained.
I think Wiz is one of the most generous people in the space, and he's a really intelligent, smart guy. And the thing I like about him a lot is he reminds me of Rookie as well. Like these guys, they don't need a help, they don't need to be there for you, but they're generally good people, and I think it's a good it's a good like way to live your life. Is generally I try to be nice to people, be good to people, and I don't expect things in return, but things come back around invariably. It's the karma, whatever it may be. But try to be the best you can in this space, and it will come around. And a lot of the people I know in this space that have done pumps and dumps or done things the wrong way or whatever. They might have night figs, they might have made it, but I tell you right now, they're not happy people.
Nah,
So
dude, no, so many people, dude. Like, you make money. I think the way you make your money matters, man, a lot. That's why I think that for me, I want to build something of value in this industry now too. Because like, you can make money off trading, but like once you're there, there's this. It's like it feels pretty empty. And again, this might just be me. Like, I don't really show off a lot. Like I kind of just drive my Honda Accord, live a very basic life. I don't. I play video games. I was playing games before this before this podcast, and I was just enjoying life. I'm
mhm.
happy I don't have cancer right now, so that's freaking like heaven to me. And honestly, like, yeah, I feel like that, like, some people, like, they just don't know when to stop, and I feel like that's the greed that gets to a lot of people. Like, think about the Malay launch, for example, right? That Hayden Adams guy actually had launched like 20 more coins before that project, but Malay was like his super rug. If dude was just like satisfied with making 100, 200 mil, he would have been like sitting very happy right now. He wouldn't be in
Mhm.
prison. But he stretched a little too far. You know what I mean? Like he literally went a little too deep and it overextended. And that was why he fucking rugged a nation, you know?
Right.
Like if he just kept rugging like Ryan Garcia tokens and Melania and et cetera like that, things would have been fine. But he just didn't know when to stop, you know? And that's where like a lot of these people, and I think like even like for most traders, like the death of all of the traders is that we are way too greedy. We don't know when to stop, and I feel like you have to have like a mental idea of like where you want to be financially, and that lack of financial planning is where most people fail. Because I see all the time when we're in bull market, people are like 10 mil is not enough, 20 mil is not enough, and I'm like, what do you mean, bro? Like that's more enough. You could like take that money, build a business, acquire business. You don't have to be trading fucking meme coins anymore or like
Hmm.
crypto anymore. Like there's other ways to make money. You know, you could take that money and put it into like a bond, or like there's so many other things you could do. But I feel like a lot of people in this industry is like, oh, dude, 10 mil is not enough. Like, and I'm like, bro, this guy's like 500, like 200K net worth. What the fuck's he talking about? He doesn't know shit.
Yeah.
And then there's people survey, like they do these surveys all the time. And like, I just see some people so delusional. But if you could have a picture of your lifestyle that you wanted, that helps you so much more with like trading real like long term, and like helps you kind of know where your goals are, not just financially in trading but also just in life. Like you live a way happier life. Like for me, I don't want 3 houses, I don't need a fucking vacation home, I don't need all this shit. I want a nice house, 1 2 story house, probably 2 cars, and like nice game room, and that's like what I want right now. Again, this could change, but like for me,
Yeah.
that doesn't require more than like a million or two. You know what I mean? And I think that's where like most people need to do a lot better of. Like, I don't see people working with financial advisors at all. And I think that's where I was able to survive this last crash, because like I had like a box for me where I was like, if I go below this, I'd be fucked. And like some people saw, I had a wallet literally go from 50 mil all the way down to like 1.3 mil. You know, like that's fucking insane. You know, and
That was a real thing.
that was a real thing. I had a wallet do that, but I also had another wallet where I boxed a 10 and I just walked away. You know,
Yeah, which is
so because
smart.
that for me was like enough. But yes, I think about that at one point. You know, like I literally had a wallet literally like lose, but like that's like my risk wallet. I don't know. It's still
Hmm.
me not being stupid, but like I had to save a certain amount away from myself so that way it could be safe. So yeah, it's all real, you know.
What I
But
usually try to do is like before the cycle, write out where I want to be and where I want to exit. And I'm not saying I do that every cycle, but and I also try to write down all my mistakes that I did the last cycle and try to fix them. And from an older guy, like I have a lot of material things, and the older you get, the less you want them. You want to get rid of them. So you spend your whole
yeah,
life acquiring shit, then you want to get rid of it. So you
dude,
know,
yeah, that's a good practice, huh? Yeah,
yeah.
man.
But
Holy
what do
shit.
you what do you do? What do you do in the trenches now? Are you trading? Are you just building? What's the plan?
I'm trying to find more like longer term trades, I guess, midterm trades. And then I'm really only playing narratives that are like laggards really these days, because I am building right now. So it's a little bit hard. Like my attention is divided. So I'm not going to be the strongest trader right now. Like for me, I want to build a company that's useful for my homies, which is that most of my friends keep all of their money in crypto. So I'm trying to build towards that economy right now. And for that first part of it, it's just travel. So
Mhm.
that's where I'm kind of segmented most of my time right now. Is like, okay, like how do I help the people who literally keep all their money in crypto? And then if they're making yield on crypto, how can I help them spend their stable coins if they're doing that, or like their Bitcoin? So that's what I want to be a problem solver for right now. I feel like that is a multi-$100 million problem, even $1 billion problem to solve. So like that's where my mind's kind of like slated. But for trading, I'm just trying to find things that are like more midterm, kind of in the trenches. I don't even say in the trenches. Like stuff like Hyperliquid's really good, right? Like where it's like these products, they generate profits and people use
Are
them.
are are you in that trade?
Yeah, I'm in hype. I'm in hype for sure. I'm not the size that I want to be in it, but I'm okay.
Did you get an airdrop in that or no?
No, I didn't. U.S. citizen,
And
and
then do
then also I
you
just didn't trade. I didn't trade perps like that at all. Really, I'm like 90% of my net worth is like on chain trenching. So like,
yeah.
what's interesting is that you could probably find wallets all linked to me at one point. You know, and like, bro, man, I had some of my wallets are so bad. I have some wallets, like I said, 40 mil PNL all the way down to 1.3. But I
Wow.
also have another one that was like, yeah, I need to retain a little bit, you know, and like I sold Chump at like 35 dollars to keep that wallet alive. And if
Wow.
I didn't do that and put that into USDC, I'd be probably more dead than 90% more people, which is fucking
Wow.
crazy to even think about, you know? Yeah.
Where do you think hype's gonna head to? Do you think it's like $100 coin, or do you think it's
There's room for disruption. I think that it's hard. The best way to look at hype is that it's a very good midterm trade, not like in the midterm until another competitor comes along that steals the mind share of it. And that's the thing of a lot of these crypto products. People have no loyalty to any crypto product, right? Which is what makes it hard. But as they're generating profits and revenue, that's where you want to focus your attention on. And like if as long as they can bring value back to their token and carry their narrative, which right now is still there, I think it's a good hold. So things
Do
you
you
want to look for are like
do you think they'll get like a hood listing or a Robinhood listing or a big exchange at some point?
it could, yeah, it really well could. It's a good business. So I don't see why not. I mean, Hood could be seen as a competitor, though, right? And
Yeah.
like supporting competitor token could be very interesting. Maybe Coinbase and stuff listed, but also I don't know. Like, I mean, this is where it's a little bit tough for hype. I would say, like, it's good because it services the on-chain economy, but even it itself is not as liquid as I want it to be, right? Like I'll give an example. I wanted to take like a 250K 5x leverage long on Peanut around $17 to $20
Mhm.
or well sorry, whatever what it was. Let me see. Not I'm not getting the price mixed up on Peanut. It was 0.17 to 0.12, right? Like it's like 20 cents to 17 cents. But there was not enough open interest on it. I think they only had like 4.5 mil open interest on it. So that means I couldn't put a position there because all the money was filled that they could basically handle. And so Bybit and Binance are still better for things like that, right? And again, I don't know how Hyperliquid fixes this problem over time for their newer pairs or for other pairs, but like I would love if I was able to do that on Hyperliquid. But at the end
Mhm.
of the day, if I really want to take a leveraged position, I'm probably still gonna just be using Binance and Bybit because I could fill 1.25 mil in order size on those exchanges really easily. You know,
Right.
so I can't do that really on Hyperliquid. But again, it's still good for other pairs like Trump, Pepe. There's that guy James Wynn real. I don't know if he's real or not, but like there's like a guy that's like got 10 million, $20 million P&L on
Mhm.
Pepe or some shit like that. And he's like running his own meta, similar to like UniPCS. But that the bonk guy, UniPCS, most of his trades are all on Bybit. That's where he has his like $10 million position longs and shit.
Are you getting
So
trades right now?
yeah, hype. I'm actually really liking this Launchcoin one. I really think Launchcoin's like worth like a large position personally, just because it captures the mind share of like what Pump Fund would never capture, which is these app people and Silicon Valley tech bros that want to build companies. And Solana kind of needs this right now. Solana hasn't really had like a more serious market is what I call it. A market for people where they're like builders or tech startups and people care about it. Like I watched a project partner with Grab. I think it's called Natix or something like that. And if you've ever been to Southeast Asia, you know how big Grab is. Like that's like in Vietnam, that is like the Uber over there, you
Yes,
know?
Uber, yeah.
So like it's when I saw that news and Solana published that news, and then a product that's 0% in gain, I was like, damn, no one cares about like tech and Solana right now, right? But I think that that's going to change with stuff like Launchcoin and like that crowd of people. Like I've been seeing some of the followers when I post about Launchcoin that I get. I'm getting dudes that were like Stanford grads, Uber like product managers or shit like that follow me, and I'm just like, oh yeah, that's interesting, So that could be a little big. But other than that, I'm like I'm not sure when the money flows back into memes again. Maybe if ETH moves again and Pepe moves again, and then like maybe Peanut, Mudang, and all those guys decide to move another leg up. But I'm not sure yet right now. I like all the meme coins on Robinhood personally. I think that all
Okay.
the meme coins on Robinhood were like winners. I told that to my friends about a month ago, and now has fulfilled the prophecy. So that was Pengu, Peanut, and Popcat, which are all
Mhm.
like 2 or 3x from the lows, and they were listed. I didn't remember the prices. Popcat was at like 150 mil.
Mhm.
Peanut was at 150 mil as well. Pengu was at 300 mil, and they're all up like 2 or 3x each. You know?
It's insane.
Yeah, so like that's like things you have to kind of pay attention to. Like when the prices are going down and there's a lot of opportunities for like I call it information arbitrage. That's where you want to like try to trade the most. Again, I don't really see much of that right now. So I feel like that's where I'm like kind of like, okay, fuck, I'm gonna chill. But like Launchcoin's the only one where I'm like, okay, this is like a meta starter, so I trade that. This is how I trade like narratives usually.
And then do you denominate in BTC? Or are you just in stables or?
Mostly in stables for one wallet, and then mostly denominate in Solana. I'm still very bullish on Solana. I feel like that's where all the volume is and on chain activity is.
And do you think
Um,
that's normal for traders and people like of your age range, like the 20s, low early 30s? They don't hold a lot of Bitcoin still.
yeah, I think a lot of people don't hold a lot of Bitcoin. Can't talk for everybody in particular, but if you're like in the 20, 30 range and you're not of like wealth or have like a high income,
Mhm.
most of the time you're parking money in like areas where you can take bets.
Right.
Um, I think one of my biggest weaknesses as a trader is that I'm an over trencher, right? So like I've far surpassed the need to ever trench ever again. Like
Mhm.
at an 8-figure balance, I don't think you should ever be trenching anymore. But I think that I do it sometimes because of one community, and then two because of like you know loving the game too much, which is actually like a serious drug and a serious addiction. It's
Yeah,
kind
I
of
think
like I'm like one of the few traders that preach gambling as like one of the worst things to do, and like finding other ways to satiate your gambling needs is so important during bear markets. So like even if it's like like a fucking game at a casino could be like $1,000, but like you know so like for me, like I hate fucking gambling at casinos because it's just like it feels bad, but it's still better sometimes, like, or even gambling on a fucking gacha game on your phone could help a lot with relieving the tension. My friend was opening card packs during the bear market to help with his like want to like make money. But like these things are so important because if you don't check your mental, man, you can easily run yourself into a ditch. And I think that most traders don't ever think about that. As someone who's been serially journaling for like 2 or 3 years on this market, I feel like that's that's one thing I've noticed. It's like, oh fuck, I lose when I have the itch and I overstretch, and then like it's not bullish conditions, and I just get cooked.
Yeah, I
You
think
know?
all of us do that. All of us have our degenerate habits from this lifestyle, this crypto lifestyle. I am gonna do a series with some performance coaches and some therapists that we're gonna come on the show for an hour or two and discuss, these issues and hopefully it'll be helpful to some traders out there.
Mm. That's a great segment. I would love to tend to that one. What the heck?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
bring some performance coaches and therapists. That would be very funny.
yeah. One of them I actually use one of the guys and he's great. I mean, he's super expensive, like ungodly expensive, but he's great. Um, but yeah, you need that stuff. You need to fix the dopamine highs and lows and be able to understand what's reality because all of a sudden things don't feel real a lot of times when you're dealing with a lot of money.
Nah, it doesn't. I mean, especially when you don't spend it too.
So what's your plan with the market? What do you think about the market over the next couple weeks?
It's hard. I mean, just reactionary market, right? Because like for me, I'm just reacting to if Bitcoin breaks price ceilings or not. And if we trend sideways, if we go down, like you don't really need to be betting right here, which is why it's kind of stagnant, right? Because if Bitcoin breaks past 105K and goes past all time high, it just brings more tension again, and you get to
Right.
trade that attention economy. Crypto's an attention economy, so like no need to rush into trades unless new liquidity is entering, and new liquidity only enters certain when past certain milestones. I mean, historically, if you've read this last year, if you're just trading peaks and whenever Bitcoin crosses an all time high, you're probably just a winner, you know. And then you trade it for like a week, and then you go peace out. You're probably making like that's like the easiest way to make money right now. So,
I
and
mainly
that's
do.
stably make money
Yeah.
at least.
I mainly just do long term. I just a Bitcoin holder generally, but I did acquire a pretty large hype bag. I added to it actually today. Wish I added to it yesterday, but the wire and the transfer from the OTC guy took too long. But the only other things I like is Robinhood. I think the stock's going to do pretty well, and then I think Michael Burry has like a 50% short position on Nvidia, so I might join him on Monday.
Well, that's interesting. Yeah,
I thought that was interesting. So their earnings come out pretty soon. So fuck it, I'll take a flyer.
yeah, and that's actually the other trade. Oh my gosh, like Coinbase stock and freaking Hood stock and anything of that derivative, like those, and also maybe Bitcoin mining stock. Not really. I haven't really seen them like the ones I like do that well. At least like Clearful,
I'm in
but
a Bitcoin mining company called Coremint that's doing really well, but it's not publicly traded.
yeah, that I mean those could be good in private markets for sure too.
I
Especially
caught it. I caught it in the bear of all bears, so it's doing pretty good right now. So
okay, yeah, that's different. I mean, obviously, like I think that Robinhood has made a very strong statement of like wanting to put more of their focus in crypto, and something is like Coinbase just becoming the center of more crypto stuff too. Like as Solana and Bitcoin breaks all time highs, I believe Coinbase stock sometimes can even outperform what Bitcoin could ever do, right?
Mhm.
So yeah, that stuff. I think like those are very, very like good places to park your money too. Just infrastructure around trading, like even just talking about the people who made the most money this cycle without taking any risk, without any trading, like Pump Fund made 600 mil. You know, Meteor is gaining LP pools of like multi-million-dollar fees on a daily and making multiple millions in fees on like, you know, sitting in Jupiter and all that stuff. So like infrastructure plays like that always are good too.
What about arbitrage play? Like someone mentioned yesterday when I was just scrolling, like some hedge fund was like shorting MSTR and longing Bitcoin and then getting an arbitrage.
I don't
Like,
know
does that
about that
make
strategy personally.
yeah,
I'm not
yeah.
doing stuff like that. I don't know if I
Mhm.
want to short MSCR because you know that's just not my type of game. Eventually it'll
Yeah,
blow up, but
yeah.
like he's just over leveraged long, buying more Bitcoin over and over and over. So uh,
Yeah,
yeah, that's
it seems like that might be the next bear market, but we'll see.
yeah, that could be. Yeah, that's why you never know, man, where this stuff goes. It's better just to stay alive, you know. So that's why you always gotta have like a reserve too. Have some betting money still in the system, but like not overly like exposing myself because I
Yeah,
don't feel like I need to anymore. I feel like I'm like at the point where it's like, huh, if I want to get to the 9-figure goal, I don't think it's gonna happen through trading. I think that's
yeah.
the stupidest way I could ever do it. So that's kind of
Well,
the reality I have to swallow right now. And I feel like,
it's good to buy a house cash to stay alive too. So let me take
and
that
you can take a
advice.
loan on that and for
Yeah,
businesses. So yeah,
yeah.
technically, so I'm still
Most of
learning all this stuff.
my most degenerate friends are think they're lucky stars that they bought homes. Uh, because if they didn't, they'd be gone.
Yeah, that's
So
smart.
so it's good. But Brian, we're gonna do trenches talk quite often. Pone Lords is gonna be on it. So if you want to join us anytime, please do that. But we usually just do a chat every week about the markets, about how things are going, and I think it helps a lot of people out here in the crypto community and space and traders or otherwise. It just you know. This could be a lonely game. Like I remember when I was in 2016,
Hmm.
2017, before I met the Weetards, before I met like all my best friends, like I was like that I didn't know who to fucking talk to about Bitcoin. Like no one fucking owned Bitcoin. If I mentioned Bitcoin, I was a retard, you know? And
Oh,
then, and then I met this group of guys in 17, 18 that became very close friends of mine. But that's why there is such a community on Twitter because a lot of these guys were just kind of misfits that, there's not a really big community of guys. There is now more now than before, but back in the day, there was no one to talk to about this shit, you know?
nah, it's lonely. Trading lonely is setting yourself up for failure. You know,
Yeah.
like why? Like it's just so important. Like, look, I call one thing that I think makes me successful too in trading is, bro, I'm calling a lot of my friends before I make trades. Shout out to my best friend Braxton. Actually, he's always there listening to me on my losses when I'm fucking whining like a little bitch. And also, he's also there for me when I'm like talking. I remember I called him the day I took the Trump trade, and I put like 5 mil into that shit. I literally called him, and I was like, "Bro, I think this is the fucking trade. You know, I think it's a PVE trade." And like, he didn't take the trade. So you can have friend calls of friends where we have different like opinions of the market, right? But it's still so important where you're just talking to someone. It helps you like solidify your thoughts a little bit more because you hear yourself talking out loud, at least for me, it helps me with like clarity. You know, even writing shit on a whiteboard or writing shit down on a journal gives you clarity. And like, I think the reason why I win is because I have stupid ass conviction because I'm able to write journal and really back up my theses on things, which is
Mhm.
sometimes a self fulfilling prophecy because sometimes I have influence in the market, but sometimes I don't. You know, it's up and down, right?
Yeah.
So I think it's so important that you get the clarity and talk to friends because trading alone is so bad, man. And like you shouldn't be just following influencers into the dark, bro. That's just dumb. I would like try to find people you could talk to on like chat rooms and shit. Like, dude, this conversation is also very fruitful. You're helping me realize I like hype a lot more, and I'm still okay maintaining a position. You know, so
My
sometimes
only
you gotta-
problem with hype is like so many people got airdropped like so much money that probably aren't great perp traders that like will paper hand a lot of this stuff. But and
that's
then
not a with clarity.
and also they'll be worth so much money if like they held to $60. So like I don't know where the number is that ends, but I'm pretty confident we're gonna hit it $50.
Oh, here's the cool thing.
You
You
know?
could sell or buy $2 million worth of hype and it hardly impacts the chart. So it works in the inverse too.
Yeah.
It takes a lot of sell pressure, you know. So I mean, you could scale in and out of those positions really fast. Like 10 mil is not a lot to scale out of a product like hype. That
Yeah,
is
and like if they catch a listing anywhere, and the normies don't know how to buy hype yet. like they have no idea how to buy this shit. So
Yeah.
if there's places that people can actually buy a hype, I think it's really gonna start flying. But
Well, here's a fun one about hype. Not to shill it too much, but like the fun thing about product like hype is that it's hard to get access to, but we still don't have the amount of like smart investors coming into the field just yet. And again, like I feel like products like Launchcoin are going to start bringing more of those people who are like, more seasoned veterans of investing in the stock market who care about like, you know, product market fit and like revenue numbers, et cetera, like that. And that's where hype is special. Like they have an incredible like revenue model and they generate a lot of real money. So some people won't touch a meme coin for that exact reason, right? And that's where meme coins topped. Meme coins topped because there's just like, there's no reason to be buying them at 1 or 2 bill. Like the upside was just so low at that point, right?
Mhm.
But products like syrup, products like hype, products like that actually generate money and you have like numbers to show for it, like Solana having more wallets all the time, stuff like that. That's what really drives a lot of people to actually want to buy things. You need statistics when people want to put in size. For meme coins, it's so hard for people to want to put in $1 million into a meme coin. But if a product has like, oh hey, they're generating $20 million in cash flow, blah blah blah, like then you can tell a friend, they're like, you know what, maybe I might put in 6 figures. I think that's like the difference.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think that's one of the coins that makes sense for an investor, makes sense for a narrative, makes sense for everything. And we'll
hmm
see.
Thanks a lot of sense. But again, it's like none of this stuff's like I'm just showing you how I see the market. I try to help people kind of like see the
But
vision.
but you never know what CZ's up to. He might just say, "Fuck," I'm gonna take it over. So
Yeah, no, but I mean, like, pay attention to competitors because like the
yeah,
on-chain market is always
yeah,
changing, and like their narrative is 90% constructed off of like the
dude.
fact they
I
generate revenue
I
numbers,
didn't know
right?
I did not know how to buy crypto like in 2017. So like I remember I still remember this. I called my homie like, "Hey, can you buy me 200K at BNB at $8?" Like
Damn.
and he said no. And then like the next week or two it was like 20. I was like, "Oh fuck it,"
No, it's too late, right? Like, and there's a
Yeah,
bias that like a lot of traders create when
yeah,
they miss an opportunity or if they sold a token, it's so much harder to buy back in. I give like a lot of kudos to the people who have the mental game to buy back into something that they're trailing at this point, right? And like I think that I don't ever see people do well in that like kind of instance. But if you're able to do that, like I think that's how you like build a really strong trader mental, right? It's like how do you build your mental to a point where you're able to remove these like things where it's like, oh, the trade has sailed, and turn it more into just like a freaking video game where it's like, oh, I'm down, I missed this trade, and you buy back in like maybe like a week later or a couple hours later. Like, how can you get into that point? Because some of my best trades, dude, like I like had to like trail it like that too. So it sucks, but that's how it is sometimes.
Lucas said he met like 10 of the best photon traders, and they're just a bunch of kids like under 20, and they never stay in a trade for more than 24 hours. Every day, every night they go to bed like liquid, like
That's
this.
crazy. Are you serious?
Yeah,
The
yeah,
best 10 photon. Whoa, I did not know
yeah,
that.
yeah. I thought
Holy
that was
sh!
really interesting. So
Wow. I
it's
mean, photon traders are. I mean, that's the weirdest thing, right? Like, I've noticed most of the successful traders are literally like they're literally like 22 to 24. Like they're kids,
yeah, PvP guys.
and like way younger too. They're all. Here's an interesting thing. They're all sneakerheads. A lot of them came from that community.
Yeah,
So
crazy man. Well, it's good talking to you, brother. You're out of town this weekend or what?
yeah, I'll be out of town this weekend.
All right.
So
Well, we'll do this again next Friday if you're around. If not, we'll have Pulling on, and you can join us if you feel like it. We're gonna have I think Rect or OSF on next week potentially, and then a bunch of other guys are lined up. But
that sounds like a good time.
thanks for coming on, brother. You have a good weekend.
No, thanks for your time, man. I appreciate being able to be on this podcast. Much
Yeah,
love.
so later, brother.